Ever feel like life is slipping away while you're too busy pleasing others? As we get older, we start to see things more clearly. But sometimes we stay stuck, holding on to toxic relationships, feeling drained, or waiting for approval that never comes. The truth. Aging isn't just about slowing down. It's a chance to live smarter, freer, and with more peace than ever before. Today, we're sharing 9 powerful truths that can completely shift the way you experience this stage of life. By the end, you'll know how to protect your energy, stop bending over backward for others, cut out negativity without guilt, open yourself up to new possibilities. We'll also talk about who deserves your trust, why boundaries matter more than ever, and how to stop seeking validation from the wrong places. If you've ever felt weighed down by family expectations or stuck in relationships that take more than they give, this video is for you. Stay with us until the end, because these insights aren't just about making it through old age, they're about finally living life on your terms. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. If this resonates with you, give it a like and share it. Someone out there needs to hear this today. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below. Now, let's get started. Number 1. Stop living to please others. From the moment we take our first steps, we are taught to seek approval. A child beams with pride when praised for sharing their toy. A student works tirelessly to earn the teacher's nod of approval. As we grow, this habit of looking outward for validation becomes deeply ingrained, shaping the way we measure our worth. Society reinforces this conditioning at every turn. A 2022 study found that nearly 65% of people make life decisions primarily based on external expectations rather than personal desires. We are raised to believe that the more we give, the more we are valued. The more we accommodate, the more we are loved. And so, we give. We pour ourselves into making others happy, often at our own expense. We say yes when we want to say no. We put aside our dreams to support those around us. At first, it feels fulfilling. The smiles, the gratitude, the reassurance that we are needed. It feels like purpose. But here's the catch. This cycle, if left unchecked, can quietly drain us. What starts as selflessness can turn into self-neglect. We keep giving, stretching, and sacrificing until one day, we wake up exhausted. We look in the mirror and see someone who has forgotten what they wanted for themselves. A survey conducted in 2021 revealed that 74% of adults admit to prioritizing others' happiness over their own. That's 3 out of 4 people living under the weight of unspoken expectations. If this sounds familiar, you are not alone. There comes a pivotal moment in life, sometimes in our 30s, sometimes in our 50s, sometimes even later, when we must ask, when will it be enough? When do we finally give ourselves permission to live for ourselves, not just for others? The answer is simple. Now. Not tomorrow. Not after everything else is settled. Right now. For years, you've given your time, your energy, your love, and your heart to others. But self-sacrifice should not come at the cost of self-erasure. Loving others does not mean disappearing in the process. Your happiness should not be an afterthought. This does not mean cutting off the people you love. It does not mean abandoning your responsibilities. It means striking a balance, one where your needs are just as important as the needs of those around you. It means setting boundaries and not apologizing for them. It means saying no when something doesn't serve you. It means realizing that your worth is not measured by how much you can endure, but by how much you choose to honor yourself. There will be resistance. When we shift the way we operate, people notice. Some may not understand. Some may push back. That's okay. That discomfort is temporary, but the freedom you gain is life-changing. Take a moment to reflect. What is something you've always wanted to do, but never gave yourself permission for? Travel. A new hobby. A career change. Now ask yourself this. If not now, when? Research shows that people who prioritize their own joy and fulfillment experience lower stress levels, improved mental health, and deeper, more authentic relationships. When we are whole, we have more to give, Genuinely, not out of obligation. This is your life. Not theirs. Not anyone else's. Yours. So today, take the first step. A small one. Say no to something that drains you. Say yes to something that excites you. Speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. You are not selfish for wanting happiness. You are not wrong for prioritizing yourself. You are simply remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. It's time. Live for yourself, not just for others. Because you deserve it. Number 2. Trust wisely and protect your peace. Trust is a cornerstone of every relationship. It is the invisible thread that binds us together, the force that transforms mere acquaintances into lifelong companions. Without trust, relationships crumble, leaving only uncertainty and doubt in their wake. As we journey through life, trust becomes more than just a bond, it becomes a safeguard. It shields our emotional well-being, allowing us to navigate life's ups and downs with confidence. Yet, the older we get, the more we realize that trust is delicate. It must be given wisely, for misplaced trust can leave scars that take years to heal. I used to trust easily, Sarah confided, stirring her coffee absent-mindedly. I believed that if I treated people well, they would do the same. But experience taught me otherwise. How so? I asked, genuinely curious. She sighed. I had a friend who only seemed to appear when she needed something. Whenever I was going through a tough time, she was nowhere to be found. But the moment she had a problem, she'd call me first. Studies show that nearly 60% of people have experienced betrayal by someone they trusted deeply. The pain that follows is not just emotional. It affects mental and even physical health. Stress, anxiety, and sleepless nights often accompany the realization that trust has been misplaced. As time passes, the desire for meaningful connections grows stronger. We seek companionship, people with whom we can share our joys and struggles. But with this longing comes a hidden risk, the possibility of encountering individuals who do not have our best interests at heart. Loneliness is a quiet predator. A 2021 study found that over 35% of adults worldwide experience chronic loneliness. In moments of solitude, it's easy to mistake any form of companionship for genuine care. The need for connection can make us lower our guard, sometimes trusting too quickly, too deeply. I guess I just ignored the signs, Sarah admitted, a wistful smile playing on her lips. She'd cancel plans last minute, only text when she needed advice or a favor. And yet, I kept giving her the benefit of the doubt. It's hard to see it when you're in it, I offered. But looking back, you can recognize the pattern. She nodded. Exactly. And that's when I learned, trust should be earned, not just given away. Sadly, not everyone who enters our lives does so with pure intentions. Some recognize our need for connection and use it for their advantage. They take without giving, draining our energy, our resources, and our emotional strength. Have you ever met someone who only shows up when they need something? A friend who disappears when you need them the most? A person who thrives on your vulnerability rather than offering true support? If so, you are not alone. Many people have encountered relationships where the balance was one-sided, leaving them feeling used and unappreciated. The truth is, not every friendly smile is sincere. Not every kind word is genuine. Some people are skilled at appearing trustworthy while harboring selfish motives. Learning to differentiate between true friends and opportunists is one of the greatest skills we can develop. This does not mean we should become cynical or distrustful of everyone. Instead, it means we must learn the art of trusting wisely. Trust is not something to be given away freely. It must be earned through actions, consistency, and genuine respect. To protect our peace, we must listen to our intuition. Often, our instincts pick up on red flags before our minds fully process them. If something feels off, it usually is. Paying attention to these subtle signs can save us from future heartache. Setting boundaries is another essential part of protecting our peace. True friends will respect these boundaries without question. They will understand our need for space, independence, and emotional well-being. They will not demand more than we can give, nor will they make us feel guilty for prioritizing our peace. Trust should never be based solely on words. Actions speak louder, revealing a person's true intentions over time. A genuine friend will show up not just in moments of celebration, but also in times of struggle. So, what did you do? I asked Sarah. I started observing people more closely, she said. I stopped making excuses for them. If someone only came around when they needed something, I distanced myself. And guess what? The right people stayed. Psychologists suggest observing patterns in behavior rather than isolated incidents. A single act of kindness does not define a person, just as one mistake does not define their entire character. What matters is consistency. A person who repeatedly disregards your feelings, takes advantage of your kindness, or fails to show up when needed is showing you their true nature. Building meaningful relationships requires patience. It's better to take time to truly understand a person before placing full trust in them. Rushing into trust often leads to disappointment. Equally important is learning to walk away. When someone repeatedly disrespects your trust, drains your energy, or makes you feel unworthy, it is time to let go. Protecting your peace sometimes means choosing distance over discomfort. We deserve relationships that uplift us, not ones that leave us feeling depleted. Trust wisely. Invest in those who reciprocate your kindness, value your presence, and honor your boundaries. The right people will never make you question your worth. They will prove through their actions that your trust is not misplaced. And when trust is placed in the right hands, it becomes one of life's greatest gifts, offering warmth, security, and unshakable support. Number 3. Don't use your age as an excuse not to change the world. Age has a sneaky way of convincing us that our potential fades over time. It whispers that as the years pass, our ability to make an impact shrinks. It tells us to settle, to accept that the biggest adventures are behind us, and to stop dreaming so big. But this is one of the greatest lies we can ever believe. We've heard it before: you're too young to be taken seriously, or you're too old to start something new. But history proves otherwise. The world has been shaped by people of all ages. Young innovators, seasoned leaders, and late bloomers who refuse to let a number define them. Take Colonel Sanders, for example. He founded KFC at 65 after countless failures. Vera Wang didn't design her first dress until she was 40. These aren't just stories. They are proof that our greatest achievements can still be ahead of us. Yet, we still tell ourselves, it's too late for me. Too late for what? To learn. To grow. To chase a dream? The truth is, as long as we are breathing, our story isn't finished. The only expiration date on personal growth is the one we impose on ourselves. Science backs this up. A 2020 study from Harvard found that neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt and grow, doesn't stop as we age. We can form new habits, develop new skills, and reshape our mindset at any stage of life. Change is not reserved for the young. It is a lifelong privilege. Do you really think I should go back to school at 50? A friend once asked me, her voice laced with uncertainty. Why not? I replied, if you go back now, you'll have your degree in 4 years. That time will pass anyway. The real question is, do you want to be 54 with a degree or 54 still wondering if you should have tried? She hesitated before nodding. I guess I never thought of it that way. That's the thing. We often assume that new beginnings are only for the young. But what if the best version of ourselves is still waiting to be discovered? What if everything we've lived through so far has been preparing us for something even greater? We have lived. We have learned. Every hardship, every challenge, every triumph has equipped us with wisdom that younger versions of ourselves could only dream of. Why not use that wisdom? Why not take everything we've experienced and channel it into something new? I always wanted to start a business, another friend confided. But I feel like that ship has sailed. I laughed. Tell that to Colonel Sanders. He started KFC at 65. What's stopping you? He sighed. I guess I just worry. What if I fail? What if you don't? I countered. What if this is exactly what you were meant to do? You've spent years gaining experience. Why not put it to work for yourself? And let's not forget the impact we can have on others. Our actions inspire. When we show up for ourselves, when we embrace change, when we refuse to be defined by our age, we set an example. Our courage becomes contagious. We might worry about what people will say. You're doing this now? Yes, now. Because now is the only time we truly have. Yesterday is gone, and tomorrow isn't guaranteed. But today is an opportunity. Change isn't about erasing who we are. It's about evolving into who we are meant to be. The best parts of us, the resilience, the lessons, the determination, don't disappear with time. They sharpen. They deepen. They prepare us for the next chapter. Think of all the ways we've already been brave. The moments when we stood up after a setback. The times we faced uncertainty and pushed forward anyway. That same strength still lives in us. It's just waiting to be used again. And yes, change is uncomfortable. But comfort zones don't lead to extraordinary lives. Every great story begins at the edge of uncertainty. And the best part, it's never too late to turn the page and start a new chapter. So let's stop letting age dictate our dreams. Let's stop acting like our best years are behind us. The world still needs what we have to offer. The experiences, the wisdom, the passion, it's all still there, waiting to be unleashed. This isn't the end of the road. It's just the beginning of a new path. The next great adventure isn't behind us. It's ahead. And the time to take that first step. It's right now. No more waiting. No more excuses. The world is waiting for us to show up. So let's go. Number 4. Don't cling to the past. Memories have a way of wrapping around us, warm and familiar, like a well-worn blanket on a cold night. They bring comfort, reminding us of moments that felt simpler, easier, or somehow more magical. We revisit them in times of doubt, drawing them close like precious keepsakes, proof that we once felt truly alive. As we grow older, these memories take on even more meaning. They anchor us, offering a connection to the people we once were and the experiences that shaped us. There's beauty in that, a quiet joy in reliving the laughter, the love, the moments that made us who we are. But here's a hard truth. Holding on too tightly to the past can keep us from moving forward. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, things were so much better back then, or if only I could go back to that time? Nostalgia is powerful. Studies show that people experience heightened nostalgia during times of uncertainty or stress, like during economic downturns or after major life changes. A 2021 study in the Journal of Experimental Psychology found that nostalgia can improve mood but also distort our perception of the present, making the past seem far better than it actually was. The past feels safe because it's familiar. We know how the story unfolds. There are no unknowns, no risks. In contrast, the future is uncertain, and uncertainty can be terrifying. But if we let nostalgia dictate our view of today, we run the risk of romanticizing the past at the expense of our present and future happiness. Think about it. When we say, "Those were the good old days," we're implying that the best moments of our lives are behind us. That's a dangerous mindset. It convinces us that the future holds nothing as exciting, meaningful, or fulfilling as what we've already lived. But that simply isn't true. The reality is, life is still unfolding. Right now, in this very moment, new experiences are waiting to be embraced. The joy, the love, the laughter we once cherished, they aren't gone. They exist in different forms, waiting to be noticed. Of course, this doesn't mean forgetting the past or pretending it didn't matter. The past is a part of our story. It shaped us, taught us, and brought us to where we are now. But it isn't the whole story. Nor is it the final chapter. Imagine if a writer stopped writing after their best chapter. What if a filmmaker refused to make another movie because their last one was a success? Growth comes from moving forward, from stepping into the unknown, from daring to create new memories instead of endlessly replaying old ones. A 2019 survey by the Pew Research Center found that 68% of people over the age of 40 feel nostalgic about their youth. Yet only 32% believe they are currently living their best years. That means more than half of people are looking back instead of living fully in the now. That's heartbreaking, but it's also a wake-up call. If we cling to what was, we risk missing out on what is. The present may not look exactly like the past. The faces may have changed. The scenery may be different. The energy may feel unfamiliar. And that's okay. Life is constantly in motion, and change is a natural part of it. Some of the best moments in life don't announce themselves. They don't come with the same golden glow of nostalgia. They are quiet, subtle, often unnoticed until much later. A genuine laugh with a friend. A spontaneous adventure. A quiet moment of peace. These moments may not seem as significant as the memories we replay in our minds, but they are just as valuable. Maybe even more so, because they're happening now. Let's not be so focused on what's behind us that we forget to see what's right in front of us. We can honor the past without living in it. We can cherish old memories while creating new ones. The magic we think is gone isn't lost. It's just waiting for us to notice it again. So let's choose to be present. Let's choose to step forward. The best days aren't behind us. They're ahead, waiting for us to embrace them. Number 5. Embrace gratitude and find joy in simplicity. Gratitude is not just an emotion. It is a quiet superpower, a force capable of shifting our entire perspective on life. Yet, in the rush of daily obligations, we often overlook its transformative power. We chase milestones, pursue ambitions, and get tangled in the web of distractions. But what if the key to a fulfilling life was much simpler than we thought? We live in a fast-paced world, constantly bombarded with expectations, responsibilities, and the pressure to achieve more. In this endless pursuit, we forget to pause, breathe, and appreciate what we already have. Research shows that people who practice gratitude regularly experience a 25% increase in happiness. That's not just a feel-good idea, it's science. One evening, I had a conversation with an old friend over coffee. We hadn't seen each other in years, and as we reminisced, he shared something that stuck with me. You know, he said, stirring his drink thoughtfully, I used to think happiness was about big achievements. Getting the promotion, buying a bigger house, traveling to exotic places. But the happiest I've ever been? It was last weekend, sitting on the porch with my dad, just talking about nothing in particular. His words hit me. How many simple moments like that had I overlooked, chasing after something grander? Think about it. How often do we take a moment to appreciate the things we once wished for? The home we live in, the relationships we've built, the small comforts of daily life. It's easy to take these for granted, but gratitude shifts our focus from what is missing to what is already present. Consider this. Studies have found that those who keep a gratitude journal sleep better and have lower stress levels. A simple practice, just jotting down 3 things we're grateful for each day, can significantly boost mental well-being. Neuroscientists even suggest that gratitude rewires our brains, strengthening neural pathways linked to positive emotions. But gratitude isn't just about grand moments. It's about the seemingly ordinary ones that hold extraordinary beauty. The first sip of coffee in the morning. The sound of laughter shared with a loved one. The warmth of the sun on our skin. These moments, when acknowledged, become tiny pockets of joy that enrich our lives. I tried keeping a gratitude journal once. My cousin admitted over dinner one evening. At first, I struggled to come up with anything new. But then I started noticing things, like how my dog greets me at the door, or how the smell of fresh bread in the morning makes me feel at home. It changed how I saw my life. Many of us have faced hardships, loss, illness, uncertainty. Life is unpredictable, and challenges are inevitable. But gratitude doesn't ask us to ignore our struggles. Instead, it teaches us to find light even in the darkest times. It shifts our perspective, helping us focus on what remains rather than what has been lost. In Japan, there is a concept called wabi-sabi. the appreciation of imperfection and transience. This philosophy reminds us that life's beauty is found in its fleeting nature. A flower in bloom, a sunset that lasts only moments, a conversation that lingers in our hearts long after it ends. Gratitude invites us to embrace these moments fully. When we choose gratitude, we step into a mindset of abundance rather than lack. We begin to realize that joy isn't found in extravagant experiences or material wealth, but in the simple pleasures of life. In fact, a Harvard study found that people who focus on gratitude rather than material gain are more satisfied with their lives overall. And it doesn't stop there. Gratitude strengthens our relationships. When we take the time to express appreciation for the people around us, we create deeper connections. A simple thank you can strengthen bonds, build trust, and create a cycle of kindness. It's a small effort with profound effects. I once asked my grandmother what the secret was to her long and happy marriage. She smiled and said, "Gratitude. Your grandfather and I always thanked each other for the little things. Even when times were hard, we never took each other for granted." Her words stayed with me. Think about the last time someone genuinely thanked you. How did it make you feel? Seen, valued, appreciated? That's the power of gratitude. It's not just about feeling good. It's about making others feel good, too. Relationships flourish when appreciation is present. As we age, gratitude becomes even more crucial. It helps us navigate the changes that come with time, the shifting dynamics of friendships, the evolving nature of our roles, the inevitable challenges of health and loss. Gratitude doesn't erase these realities, but it helps us face them with a sense of peace and acceptance. Finding joy in simplicity doesn't mean lowering our standards or settling for less. It means recognizing that true fulfillment often comes from the things that money can't buy. The joy of watching a grandchild take their first steps. The contentment of sitting quietly with a cup of tea. The comfort of knowing we are loved. It's easy to get caught up in what's next, what goal to chase, what improvement to make. But what if we shifted our focus to what's now? What if we started each day by acknowledging one thing we're grateful for? It could be the simplest thing, a peaceful morning, a kind gesture from a friend, or even the ability to take a deep breath. There's a reason many of the world's longest living communities, such as those in Okinawa, Japan, practice gratitude daily. It's linked to lower levels of stress, better heart health, and even longevity. When we appreciate life as it is, rather than wishing for it to be different, we cultivate a sense of inner peace that extends to our overall well-being. Nature, too, offers endless moments for gratitude. The sound of rain tapping against the window, the rhythmic crash of ocean waves, the way leaves dance in the wind. These are reminders that life is happening all around us, in its simplest, purest form. The more we practice gratitude, the more it becomes second nature. It's like a muscle. Use it regularly, and it grows stronger. Over time, it changes the way we see the world. Instead of focusing on what's missing, we begin to see the gifts that were always there. We don't need grand reasons to be grateful. We only need awareness. Awareness of the beauty in small moments, the kindness of others, the miracle of simply being alive. Gratitude turns the ordinary into the extraordinary, the mundane into the meaningful. So, let's make a choice. A choice to pause, to appreciate, to express thanks more often. Not just in the big moments, but in the everyday ones, the ones we often overlook. Let's embrace gratitude not as an occasional practice, but as a way of life. Because when we do, life becomes richer. Relationships become deeper. Joy becomes more abundant. And we begin to see, with absolute clarity, that even in its imperfections, life is a beautiful, breathtaking gift. Number 6. Invest in relationships that matter. When we pause for a moment and reflect on our journey, one thing stands out: our relationships shape who we are. They define our joys, cushion our sorrows, and give meaning to our experiences. Think about the people who have stood by your side through life's highs and lows. The ones who celebrated your victories as if they were their own and held you up when everything seemed to fall apart. These are the people who truly matter. But here's something we often forget. Not all relationships deserve the same level of attention. Some uplift us, while others drain us. And in a world where our time and energy are limited, knowing where to invest makes all the difference. A 2021 Harvard study found that strong relationships improve happiness and even extend lifespan. The quality of our connections is directly linked to our mental and physical well-being. Yet, how often do we prioritize the right ones? Life isn't about collecting acquaintances. It's about nurturing those rare connections that make our souls lighter and our hearts fuller. The ones that bring peace instead of stress, clarity instead of confusion. Imagine your closest friend, the one who truly sees you, who listens, not just to reply, but to understand. That kind of bond is priceless. And the more we nurture it, the more it flourishes. But let's be real. Not all relationships withstand the test of time. Some were meaningful once but have faded. Others may never have been healthy to begin with. And clinging to relationships that no longer serve us can be exhausting. Studies show that one-sided relationships can increase anxiety and stress. Have you ever felt drained after spending time with certain people? That's your mind and body signaling it's time to let go. Letting go isn't easy. We hold on to memories, history, and guilt. But walking away from relationships that don't align with your growth isn't selfish. It's self-respect. At the same time, investing in new connections is just as important. It's never too late to meet people who bring fresh perspectives, kindness, and support into your life. Sometimes, the right relationships come at the most unexpected moments. Joining a community, pursuing a passion, or even just reaching out can open doors to friendships we never imagined. A simple conversation could lead to a lifelong bond. Think of relationships as a garden. Some flowers bloom beautifully with care, while others wither despite our efforts. The key is to nurture the ones that thrive and let go of the ones that no longer grow. The truth is, we become like the people we surround ourselves with. If we want to be happier, stronger, and more fulfilled, we must choose relationships that bring out the best in us. A 2023 survey revealed that 78% of people feel happier after deep, meaningful conversations with loved ones. It's proof that connection isn't about numbers. It's about depth. It's better to have a handful of people who truly care than a crowd of acquaintances who barely notice when you're struggling. Quality over quantity, always. So, ask yourself, who are the people who make your life better? Who lifts you up when you're down? Who makes you feel seen, heard, and valued? Those are the relationships worth your energy. This isn't just about friendships. It applies to family, mentors, colleagues, and even online communities. Any relationship that adds value to your life is worth investing in. And remember, relationships are a two-way street. Being there for others, showing up, listening, and supporting them is just as important as receiving the same in return. If you're still watching this video and this resonates with you, drop a comment below and let's talk about the relationships that have shaped your life. Who has made a difference in your journey? And if you're feeling stuck in relationships that no longer serve you, know this. You have the power to choose who gets a seat at your table. You deserve connections that bring you peace, joy, and a sense of belonging. When you invest in relationships that matter, you invest in yourself. You create a life filled with warmth, understanding, and the kind of companionship that makes every moment richer. And in that, you will find not only happiness but true fulfillment. Thanks for being here and taking a moment to reflect on what truly matters, our relationships. Before we wrap up, think about today's key takeaway. What stood out to you? What's one thing you now see as essential for your happiness and well-being? Something you'll commit to nurturing from this point forward? Drop a comment below and share your biggest insight. Let's keep this conversation going and support each other in building connections that inspire and uplift. If this video resonated with you, show some love, like, share, and subscribe for more content that adds real value to your life. Appreciate you being part of this journey. Can't wait to connect again soon.